Alright, this video is for Scott. I have your quad finished up. So here it is. This is a little 2-inch. So for the parts, what we have here is the Zing Nano. I think these are 1202 10,000 kV motors. You got the Mamba F4 AIO flight controller. You have a TBS Unify Pro 32 Nano VTX on the back here, and this is the Newbie Drone BI-V2 camera, micro lollipop antenna, and I don't remember what props these are. I'm trying to remember. I think they were HQ, but they could be Jim Fan. I really don't remember, and they don't say anything on them. So, and then you got a little buzzer in the back here, and then for your receiver, you have the Spectrum SRXL2. So originally for this, I had gotten the Spectrum 4648, which is supposed to be that auto bind one. I hooked it up, could not get it to go into bind mode no matter what I did. And I've bound up Spectrum receivers for years, hundreds of them. You know, I mean, I've even made videos on my channel to help other people bind Spectrum receivers, but it just was not working. So I ended up getting this one, which is the SRXL2. I think that's what it's called. It's a new receiver, newer, not brand new, but pretty new. It's the SPM 4650 V2. And this one's kind of cool. This is the coolest Spectrum receiver I've ever seen. Yeah, it's the SRXL V2. And in Betaflight, it actually has its own name for the protocol that you choose under the receiver. It says, I think it says Spectrum 2048/SRXL2. And I was looking at videos on YouTube because this one hooks up differently than regular receivers. You actually run the signal to the TX pad, not the RX. Kind of like F port. So pretty crazy, but really cool, really awesome, and really easy and simple to bind. So much easier than ever before for a Spectrum receiver, because it's always been CLI command binding for me, because back when I did use Spectrum, I always used that lemon receiver. It was the little lemon, and it was like $5, and it worked awesome. I loved using those. But they didn't have no bind button, and then none of the Spectrum receivers had a bind button up until the 4649T had a bind button. But that receiver was huge. This one is super tiny. As you can see, this is a little 2-inch quad, and it's like tucked underneath the camera mount there. You can't even hardly see it. So anyway, I'm going to try to show you close up here. I want to make sure you know where the bind button is. Let me see here. Okay, so I'm touching it right now. It's right underneath this antenna right here. So I don't know if you can hear that, but it's clicking. So you got to click down the button. So it's not super I mean, it's the same as FR Sky. You got to hold down the bind button while you're plugging in the battery, which is weird, but that's just how they do it. So what you do is, first you're gonna check out the video that I linked you the other day to setting up a new model for your Spectrum radio. Follow it exact, okay? Then you'll be completely ready to go, and you'll be to this step right here. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to get your battery. You're going to hold it almost plugged in, but not plugged in. Okay, just like that with one hand. With your other hand, you're going to use some tweezers or something, and you're going to push down on that bind button. Make sure you hear or feel it click. Okay, there I feel the click. And then while I'm holding that down, I'm going to plug in the battery. Okay. Now you can let go of the bind button. Make sure you plug the battery in the rest of the way so it doesn't slip out. And now you can see that there is a flashing red LED. See right there, you can see the flashing. Really, it's a rapid flash. right where the tip of my finger is. Okay, that's the receiver saying that it's in bind mode. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to hold down the bind button on your radio, turn the radio on while you're holding the bind button on your radio, and it'll say binding and it'll start binding. So that's what I'm going to do with my radio. So here I'm going to hold the bind button and turn the power on, and you'll see the LED on the receiver flash a couple times and then it goes solid, and that means that it's bound. So here we go. I'm going to turn on my radio while I'm holding the bind button. There you see it's flashing. Now it's solid, so I can let go, and now it's bound. It has a solid LED now, as you can see there. It's solid instead of flashing, so I'm bound up. So now I'm going to hit arm, and there we go. Now if it doesn't arm, you need to make sure that your throttle is all the way down. That's usually what it is. And you want to make sure that you have your arm set for auxiliary 1. Okay. All right, so let me show you the video, because I'm going to show you also how to make smart audio work. So smart audio lets you change the channels and bands in your goggles. So this is kind of like my goggles. Okay, so all right, so what you do is you put your throttle in the middle, and then you yaw left, all the way left, and while you're holding that, you pitch forward. And with all those combined, you can see there that it brought up a different menu. And now you use your right stick to go down, and then use the right stick to go right and to pick it. Okay, so you went down to features and you picked it. Then you go down and then right to pick VTX. And in there you can change the band to whatever band you want, channel to whatever channel you want, power. You can choose between 25, 100, and 400 milliwatts. Okay. When you're done, you go down to set and go to the right to choose it. Confirm, go to the right again to say yes. Then you're going to go down, down, choose back, down, 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 choose back, down, save and exit, save and exit. And that's it. Then you put your throttle all the way back down, and you're ready to go fly again. All right, so very easy to do that. Video looks good. Did I even show it? There you go. You can see that looks beautiful. Okay, let's do a hover. Here we go. Super quiet. Oop. Hit my foot instead of my hand. All right, so there you go. It is all good to go. I'm pretty sure that you said you had some 450 milliamp hour 3S batteries. This is a 300 3S. So 450 will fit on here perfect. You can see the battery strap's a little bit long for the 300, so on the 450 it'll probably end up being like that, which will be perfect. You got some nice sticky UMA grip on there. And yeah, it's good to go. I think I've covered everything that you need. It's running Betaflight 4.2, and it's doing props out configuration. And that's about it. So I'm going to get this bad boy boxed up and shipped out, and I'll send you over tracking when I have it. All right, thanks, Scott.